to JK Games, the gaming podcast where we bring you the gaming news we care about.
And maybe some that we don't.
Whether you play on easy mode
or you like a good challenge.
This is a show where we'll try to level up your gaming knowledge.
Pew, 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 pew.
God, is this Kayla? Is Kayla actually here? Kayla told me that her husband's birthday was today, but I think she lied. She's actually just here. I don't know. That didn't make sense, but you get what I'm saying. She's like, I gotta hang out with him, but he's here. Or she's here. This is Kayla.
She astral projected from Hunter's birthday.
Yeah. If you didn't notice, Kayla is not here. It was her husband's birthday, which is more important than streaming a podcast, I think. Sort of.
Debatable,
this is sort of important too. But I guess that's okay. You only turn 45 once.
Yeah. Happy retirement, Hunter. We're so proud of you.
He's close to retiring soon. I'm lying. He's not really 45. He's not. I don't want to give out his real age because I feel like that's inappropriate, but I like lying about his age. He's definitely not 45.
Yeah.
He's 48.
You don't know what to believe anymore?
Don't know. No one will ever know. But luckily, I was very thankful for Jordan. Cognitive Clips. You probably have seen his name show up in chat before. And even before the show, I was telling him, I was like, man, I'm sort of bummed you're not in chat so you could help me test my audio levels and tell me what sounds good. Now I'm scared. But y'all definitely rose to the occasion. So
Kayla is here.
I feel like you're in the chat still. It gives me a little bit of comfort. But Jordan was nice to fill the seat for Kayla tonight and help me do the show. And I already told him, I don't look at chat too much because I got a lot of other stuff over here. So Jordan's going to help us with that. So literally, you got some big shoes to fill with Kayla's duties tonight. Hopefully you've brought a new game that's indie or a farm game. Any game with gnomes, because if not, then you failed. You cannot replace Kayla at that point.
I brought an indie, at least. I brought one of those three things.
Okay, as long as you have one of the three things, then we can still do the show. So
sweet.
Because I just want the listeners and watchers to have what's the word I'm looking for?
Continuity.
There we go. That's it. That's the word. Oh gosh.
See,
great
co-host. That's what I'm here for.
And I don't have any of the notes pulled up, and I already was like, I can handle housekeeping for Kayla. But I'm already getting ahead of myself. Hey, I'm Jerica, one of your hosts, and we are joined today by
Jordan, aka Cognitive Clips. Hi.
Amazing. And before I get into housekeeping, tell the world, all 6 people right now currently watching, which is the world.
Yes, it is.
Tell them about what do you do? Why are you here? Do you like games? I hope so.
I dabble a lot.
Okay.
So yeah, I have a channel over on YouTube, Cognitive Clips, believe it or not. And I'll do mostly video essay style content, but occasionally throw up some, playthroughs or early access or, just early game impressions of things like that. So if that's your vibe, go ahead and jump over there. Otherwise, you may have seen me on Spotlight Games and or JK Games, or the collaborations between both of them for the fantasy draft that we did last year, which was a ton of fun. So you'll find me over there and on socials. That's where I be.
And don't sell yourself short. I will say this. One thing that obviously beside his just always showing up in chat for us, being a big fan of our show, Jordan does have great content as far as listen, just go back and watch our Sea of Stars episode. It was phenomenal. Jordan, you're just really good with words. That's one of the skill sets I wish I had. And narrating and talking through, debriefing a whole entire game in a very, a shorter amount of time. It's hard to do, especially if it's a game that you love and it's crammed full of content. Like, how do you summarize and get the point across? Like, hey, that's a sign of someone that can review games. And I think that's really impressive. Not everyone can do that. It's really hard.
Thank you, Kayla. I said Kayla.
Did you call me Kayla?
Jerica. I did. I didn't even... I ruined the moment. It was such a sweet moment.
Damn it. No,
I'm so sorry.
Honestly, I take that as a compliment. Kayla's pretty cool. So
again,
I'm
she
not too
possessed
mad
me.
about
She
it.
astral projected, and that's what happened.
Took over you. But
No,
she called her
thank you.
herself, so that still doesn't make sense. You know what we're trying to say.
Thank you, Jerica. That was very kind of you to say. I really appreciate you saying that.
You're welcome, sir.
Even if I used the wrong name.
And I appreciate the Dan Good Show saying, hey, it's 7 people. Shoot, we're at 8 people now, so party's just getting litty titty, if you know what I'm saying.
He canceled me. Dan canceled me, so I gotta go.
Yeah, get out.
We had fun. It was a fun few minutes.
So, yes, the things that we do on this show. Talk about video games. We talk about TV shows occasionally. Because sometimes those are also video game related. Speaking about or talking about The Last of Us, season 2 comes out in April, Jordan, which means Clickerbait. I guess we can call Clickerbait season 2 will be officially a thing. So be ready for that coming. That's our other show. You can also find that on every podcast thingy. Clickerbait, if you want to listen to me and Kayla talk about the season 1 of The Last of Us. We just talked about too much, so it needed its own show.
Smart move.
Yeah. Kayla loves to read. I'm trying to do more of that, so maybe I can level up some knowledge over here. But yeah, Kayla will occasionally talk about books, and we just want to talk about the things we're putting in our brains, and that's what we use on the show. But more importantly, we focus on video games, the news of the week, which we don't have any this week for normal mode. You should definitely check out Spotlight Games, because Jordan was a part of that a couple of nights ago.
It was Thursday night, I think so. Yeah,
it's up now. I haven't watched it yet, but I just know I already got on my soapbox about the Switch 2. But if y'all want to hear what Jordan and those guys over there are talking, what they think about the Switch 2, you should check them out. Spotlight Games. You were on that, right? You said so. You were on that. I didn't want to lie.
It was a lot of fun. It was getting a little bit later into the evening, and it got a little loopy for a bit there. So definitely check that out. That's
great then. That's always where the good content starts, when you late and loopy. LNL. Yes.
And then speaking of Sea of Stars, did a little rearranging some decorating in the basement tonight. Ooh. And this is my
oh snap,
Sea of Stars, like the special edition like art print that came with the from I Am 8-Bit, I think that's sold there. Yeah. But a nice, very expensive $8 sorry, very expensive frame to put it in. So yeah, it's up there with the good. Other.
I like it.
Yeah.
Is that a gold frame? You said.
It gold? Is, yeah.
Real gold?
Solid gold.
Nice.
40 carats.
Whoa, it's a lot of carats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High score weekly. I'm not sick. My allergies were trying to murder me, actually, like legitimately the past couple of nights, but I'm less on death's door tonight. I'm going to try my best to mute myself when I start to cough. And if I don't get there in time... You can let them
rip here. We're not anti-cough. Like, cough on this stream. If you're gassy, let them rip. Like, let them rip. It's fine.
Good to know.
If anything, makes everyone feel like, oh yeah, we're all human. We all have to cough and fart, so we're fine. Let them rip. But yeah, that's a little bit about JK Games. You can follow us everywhere at JK Games Podcast on all the social media platforms. And I don't know why I always say social media platform. I'm a true millennial, unfortunately. But if you want to find us and see what we're talking about, I just realized I forgot to hit go. Or speaking of social media, I forgot to post everywhere before we went live. So let me do that real quick. Actually, we'll take a little detour. I'm going to segue into easy mode, Jordan.
Segues, yes.
That way I can get click your loadout. The things. Oh, we did the loadout already, and I forgot to suit up. Sorry. That's normally Kayla's thing. I sort of did it already. That's pretty much it with housekeeping.
Yeah. Crushed it.
Oh, one thing actually. Okay. Get my thoughts straight. I'm going to get into easy mode. Jordan, I want to hear about what you've been playing, what you've been up to, because some really cool stuff, I think. Can you talk about anything yet?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. We got some stuff I have to ask. Like, can he talk about it? Oh my God. It's so hot off the press. But before I do that, I want to plug my video that I posted last week. Please forgetting.
Please
if you would like to watch me unbox the 30th anniversary PS5 Pro, the whole thing is on YouTube now. JK's podcast. You can find it there. Gotten great reviews on the content. I would say it's about a 2 out of 10, you know, and I'm not being down on myself. I'm just being truthful. Like, there's way better unboxing videos for this thing. But I will say this, they're not entertainment value, 10 out of 10 though.
Oh yeah.
Definitely there. Maybe I kiss the PlayStation? Don't know. It maybe happened and maybe didn't. I don't know. You have to watch it to find out. But that is up live now on YouTube. So.
Speaking of people selling themselves short, because like your editing skills, phenomenal for that video. Like, just so funny.
Well, you might change your tune. I know this is not editing video. You might change your tune when I post the art for this episode.
I think that I will appreciate it even more, but okay.
I maybe had to paint your forehead a little bit. Like, I had to make you look older.
It's about time someone did, you know, like I've been dying for someone to paint my forehead, and I just don't know how to ask it. And the fact that you did it without me asking is just, you know.
I did. I thought about asking you for real, but I was like, nah, he'll be fine with this.
It's better to surprise.
Fine. I made both me and Jordan look like little or older versions of ourselves. Yeah. There's like little wigs on, and we look elderly because we're, you know, revisiting games from our childhood. And I was literally like, oh my God, that game came out 25 years ago. What the hell?
Right. I hate looking at those release years. I'm like, no, that's not right. That's not right.
Like that cannot be right. Yeah. So while I actually swap over to the Mac, because that's what I'm having to do right now, so I can post, because I had all the posts ready on the Mac, but I forgot I stream on the PC. Give me a moment. I'm going to do this because I can multitask. But I want everyone to hear. Jordan, what have you been playing? It could be casual. It could be professionally playing. It could be anything. I want to hear about it.
Yes.
For easy mode.
Yeah, it's been a couple things. So I did finally, with sales and stuff at the beginning of the year, picked up Metaphor Refantasio. So I've been like hopping into that here and there. I know you and I talked a little bit. I did also get to pick up Dragon Age Veilguard at the end of last year. So I'm like, you know, jumping back and forth between two large games.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Like,
I don't know why I did
those
this to
two games.
But they're both fantastic. Like, I'm like probably 40 hours into Veilguard, maybe 30 into Veilguard, and more about like 10, 11-ish into Metaphor, and loving them both. Having a blast. But this is, I'm going to have like a little moral of the story here for this one.
Okay. Okay.
So for anybody out there who is a creator of any kind for like video game content, I am by no means a big name at all. Like, not at all. I've only been doing this for like a little bit over a year.
You're big to me. Okay.
Oh, thank
you. Wanted you to know.
And like Little Miss Kind of Funny Games Daily, like I'm still baffled.
Every time I do, if they ever ask me again, I'm just gonna wear a diaper finally, because like I'm just always ready to shit my pants. Like my heart rate, my watch notifies me multiple times when I've been on Kind of Funny, like at least 3 times my heart rate exceeded the norm.
But you wouldn't know it listening to you talk.
Thank God.
And I mean that.
Thanks.
But there are a couple of sites that are completely free to, you know, register for, to like sign up for or whatever. One of them being Keymailer. And you literally just, you make your account and you link your Twitch channel, your YouTube and stuff like that. So because of that, I was able to snag a copy of Hyperlight Breaker for free. I was like pre-approved because of my YouTube, which is only
hell yeah,
like 240 subs. Like it's not even like, you know, any huge number, like especially compared to some other people that I know. Yeah, so I played a couple hours of Hyperlight Breaker. Kind of got to get in the early access build. I posted a little impressions thing. It was actually like 1 a.m. this morning. Stayed up really, really late for a millennial. My body was not ready for that. My daughter still woke up at like 7:00. It was kind of a nightmare. So probably shouldn't have done that, but here we are. I wanted to get it out there to hit that sweet SEO, but yeah, like if you're interested in games, though, just sign up for sites like that, because you never know. There's different ones will have different criteria. Like there's also terminals.io, and I've never been approved for anything through them yet. It's been a while since I've signed up for it. But yeah, like never hurts to just sign up for a free thing or send an email, just like, hey, I'm interested in your game, and it'd be cool to talk about it, kind of thing. So as far as a little snippet of my impressions of it, it is really tough.
Yeah.
Hyperlight Breaker, I mean, it's like I died so often. The very first time that I like went into this world, it's for anyone who doesn't know, it's a sequel to Hyperlight Drifter, but instead of being that 2D isometric style, it's fully 3D, and it's also roguelite. And so, you have, I think, at least at the beginning of the game, you have like 4 resurrections, or like 4 lives, and then once you die for that 4th time, then the world will get completely reset, and you're like exploring a completely different area again. But I mean, the first time I dropped in, it's called the Overgrowth. The first time I dropped in there, it was like 3 minutes and I was dead. Not even exaggerating. I was looking at the timestamps. It was like 3 minutes. I was like, what is this, man? And the game's like, oh yeah, press up on the D-pad to heal. I'm like, but how? Like, there's nothing. It doesn't even tell you. Like, it took me almost like an hour and a half before I was even able to unlock using a med kit. I'm like, man, even Dark Souls gives you like a little flask to, tide you over until you get good with a GIT space GUD. That's how we say that in the gamer world.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I mean, if that's up your alley, definitely give it a shot. I think it's again, it is early access still, so they definitely have time to fix some of these things, and it's got a good blueprint, good skeleton to it, as I kind of phrase it in the video. But yeah, it's not something that I'm probably going to put too much time into when it's this difficult for me, because I'm not that great at those kind of games. But yeah, definitely worth looking at if that is up your alley. So,
my girlfriend actually played the first one, and I always get the names. Ever since the sequel got announced, I'm like, I don't know what the first one's called.
The first one's Drifted.
Ooh, that's how I'll remember.
Skirt.
I watched her play it a little bit, and it always looked really pretty. It's just one of those that I didn't get my hands on. When I heard they were going to announce the sequel, is it a story sequel at all? Or is it like a brand new story in that universe? I don't really know for sure.
I never actually played the first one. If I understand correctly, it might actually be a prequel.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like a
continued
separate,
anything.
Same world but different story kind of thing going on.
Okay.
From what I understand.
But yeah, when I saw the announcement when it was going 2D, I was like, that's cool. That makes me really excited, because something similar is happening with, it's totally different type of game, sort of. But Moonlighter, that's what I'm thinking of. Moonlighter. Its sequel is going to be 3D.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks really good. And that I didn't play I didn't finish it, or I don't even know if you can beat that game, but I played enough of it to been like, this is definitely worth the money. This is fun. I am excited for the sequel. It looks good. I feel like that comes out this year.
I think it's like
in a couple of months.
Was the first one on Game Pass? Because I know that I played a little bit of it, gave it a shot.
Funny enough, I played it on the Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's why I played so much of it, because I could have it in my hands.
Pick it up, take it anywhere.
I am going to be upfront about something. The whole time you've been talking, my monitor that's in front of me will not turn on, so I can't do anything. I'm not lying, y'all. I promise you, I'm really good with technology. I know I'm not bad. But for some reason, I tried to swap over to my MacBook so I could post to socials that were live, and it just went to sleep, and it's not waking up. So, I'm in a tough spot, because I feel bad for Jordan entertaining everybody, but I need to see if I can just unplug my monitor and get it turned back on for a second, because I really need to hit end stream when we're done, because I can't do that right now. So give me 2 minutes. Anything else you've been playing, Jordan, that someone will be or anybody would be interested in hearing. It's okay if you don't. I'm throwing you a big football.
I've got something else I can talk about that I'm allowed to talk about.
I won't be able to hear because I have to take out my ears, but just, pretend everyone is here for you and you only. That might make it worse. I don't know.
Oh, no.
But I need to reset my monitor, so I'll be right back.
Go for it.
Okay, thank you.
Finally, it's just me. God. No, I have also been playing since Citizen Sleeper 2 is coming out in like a week and a half or so. Went ahead and tried Citizen Sleeper 1 on Game Pass, and I am loving it. I don't know if anybody in chat has been playing that, but it's a ton of fun. For anyone who doesn't know, the developers are really heavily inspired by like tabletop RPGs, so just think D&D. So there is no voice acting, there is no like real cinematics to it, but there's obviously art and designs that you're looking at as you're playing the game, but very, very text heavy that you kind of just read in your own voice. The writing is some of the best writing that I've ever seen in video games, hands down. I think there was a demo for Citizen Sleeper 2 at some point. I'm not sure if it's still around, but in any case, highly recommend. That's not something that's usually up my alley, but I gave it a shot and loving it. The dice mechanics that come into it, again, because it's like inspired by D&D. Whenever you're going to be having a conversation or trying to, work an odd job for money, you're just inputting one of your dice that gets rolled at the beginning of the day to, test the probability. And it's the type of game where it doesn't really have a fail state. There's no like save scumming involved for things like this game where if something goes wrong, it just tells you how it went wrong, and then you kind of live with the consequences, which I think is a pretty cool thing to do for video games, because usually it is like, I messed it up, it's going to go back like, an hour and try it again, or I'm going to go back, 5 minutes, or it'll just give you a game over. But this game is like, no, you sucked. Live with it. And she's back.
I'm back. And
I was just giving them the
it's working.
I was just giving them the rundown on that the first Citizen Sleeper, because it's on Game Pass. So I was playing that recently in anticipation of the second one coming out soon. So
should I play that? You think it'd be something I would like? You sort of getting an idea of the games I enjoy.
Maybe. I mean, because it is very narrative heavy. I think I've seen some people not like a 1-to-1, but I've seen some people compare it to games like what's it called? Crap. Chad, help me out. The game from a couple years ago that was really like popular, and it's the same kind of thing where you're rolling dice kind of to.
Is it Disco Elysium? Yes,
thank you. I don't know why I forgot that.
Yes,
it's kind of similar to that. Just you're not moving a character around like in the traditional sense of like with like a 3D or a 2D model walking around. You're like scrolling to the next options to look at the next part of the space station or the next conversation to have kind of thing, instead of actually walking around. But same kind of concept as far as just how narrative heavy it is and writing heavy it is. But I was just telling, it's like some of the best writing I've ever seen in video games. It's beautiful. So
okay,
yeah, if that's,
I might check it out.
Yeah, again, it's on Game Pass, PC Game Pass, and Xbox Game Pass. So that's how I was checking it out, and I liked it enough that I bought it.
I've seen some gameplay, or I've seen sort of like the flow of the game. I feel like that might be a really good game to actually play, like in handheld, because I got the Asus little.
Oh yeah,
Ally.
I bet it would actually.
I don't know why I did this. I got that. So that might be a good game to play on that. I don't know.
I think it would be. Like, I halfway considered buying it on the Switch, but I was like, if it's already on a laptop, I'll just keep playing it on that.
Yeah.
Because it does work really well with the, dragging your mouse and clicking for the, dice rolls and stuff, or the inputting the dice that are already rolled.
Okay.
If you do play it on handheld, let me know how it is, because again, I wouldn't. It's an indie game, so it's not like it's expensive. I wouldn't say no to buying it on the Switch as well.
Just buy it everywhere. Why not?
That's kind of what I did it for Sea of Stars. But
it was worth it. I think I've done that for a few games myself. So
yeah. Zero appearances by Jordan on Jerica Games without mentioning Sea of Stars.
That's fine. It's like, I every episode I talk about The Last of Us, it just ends up happening.
There it
doesn't
is.
even make sense for the conversation, but I just still bring it up. Okay. I'm not in, I can't, obviously, for some reason, I don't want to say this live because it sounds really bad, but I think my Mac went to sleep. So I don't think anything's wrong with it. So anytime I try to go over to the Mac to post, hey, we're live, I can't, my monitor goes to sleep and it just doesn't come back on. So I'm afraid to do that again.
Oh, no.
So I'll just send that out later. Sorry, Jordan, the world does not know we're live and you can't see my beautiful art yet.
That's okay.
I mean, I can do it live. I'm just, I'm not one that can talk and multitask, because if I don't, I'm going to post to the wrong account. Here, I'm just going to do it real quick. Everyone's probably like really wanting to see this art that I prepared for our stream. I'm
dying to see it. She apparently, each flag, if it's not Sea of Stars, it's 9/11.
Basically. That's what we need on a shirt, for real. We need a Last of Us version and, Sea of Stars version.
Yeah.
Live now. Well, should I say we've been live, but here you go. If you're missing out on this action,
you should have followed us to get new notifications anyway, that's on them.
Live now.
Oh, High Score Weekly said that he actually does want to see it because we hyped it up. I'm actually not sure what he's talking about, though.
See, now that's stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I really need my Mac to, wake up, because for some reason, links don't work, which is always a freaking shame.
I've got a link you can borrow.
Do you? Where?
It's right there on the wall. That's Link.
No one else can see it, Jordan. I'm the only one that can see it.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
All they can see in frame right now is just... Okay. Thank you. Yeah, you did it.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
It truly is. That's not a lie.
I can tell a story about that if you want me to talk while you're doing links.
Tell your story real quick, Jordan.
Thank you. When our first child was to be coming into the world, I thought it'd be cute to just be like, Facebook poll, like, do you think it's a boy or a girl kind of thing. But instead I was like, is it going to be Link or is it going to be Zelda? Which some people took to mean that was going to be the name of the child. I'm not that.
I could see that. I could see that, though.
I mean,
I could see it. I could see it.
But within a pretty short time frame of us doing that, I think I actually photoshopped once we got the ultrasound back that it was a boy. I photoshopped the Master Sword from Wind Waker. That's the kind of cartoony one into the ultrasound picture. But I found that at Target. It was just this little very small square frame thing of art from the very original. So it's I have to have it now. Gotta be done.
I'm about to yell at my girlfriend because I need her to wake up the Mac. I don't want to leave you by yourself again. But now my monitor will not turn on again. It's just no source. You're not going to look at anything. Audrey, can you wake up my Mac? Thank you. She already knew. She's like, I'm coming. For some reason, it went to sleep. And I don't know why. I tell it to stay awake forever.
Would you call it a citizen sleeper?
You would. Oh my gosh, we have light.
I saw it
not plugged in. What the heck? Why not? Do you know why not? What happened?
High Score Weekly, that is so true.
I bet what happened when we were messing with the camera, it bumped it. Okay. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the episode that the art is suggesting, we're going back to our simpler times. I want to talk about what I've been playing, which is still just The Witcher 3. What a work of art this game is. It's 10 years old, I think, at this point.
Something like that, very close to it.
It plays pretty damn good for the age. I'm telling everyone that I know, any gamer friends I have that love open world games and just don't have a new one to dive into, or maybe I know we're all waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6, 7, whichever one comes next. Listen, you can play The Witcher 3 right now, and there's an updated version that includes all the DLC, which I haven't got to the DLC yet, but I'm still chipping away.
I've heard that it's some of the best DLC ever made, is what I've heard about.
That's one of the reasons I'm getting through this, because I really want to experience this DLC, the best DLC of all time. We're hearing on the streets. That's what I'm hearing.
Second best to Final Shape, probably, but you know.
Yes, of course. I was going to say that because I'm a big Destiny fan.
Are you?
Yes.
What?
Uh-huh.
Chat, did you know Jerica plays Destiny?
It's been months, though. That's a whole topic for another episode. But I heard, I think I saw like on the rumor sites there's going to be a new dungeon. So that always gets me back in. It's always a dungeon. Gets me back into Destiny. But it's been a few months since I played because I was playing Dragon Age. And then for some reason now I'm starting to play The Witcher 3. Just had an itch for it. And I have never had an open world game where the side quests have captured me like The Witcher 3 has. Like every little quest I've done has been worth my time. In my opinion,
so deep. Like I've only played like maybe 2 or 3 hours of it myself, but I remember that being a highlight of like every side quest is like a legit story, like fleshed out, really interesting. Like I remember that about it for sure. Yeah, and there's also frying pans and stuff, but still, like even that was mildly interesting.
Like some are like super serious, and then some aren't, and they're both equally worth my time because I'm finding that like when I see usually I see an exclamation mark on my map in these games, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna mainline it. I don't have time for that, or I'll do a few, and then at some point when you get to a new area and you see all these other new things show up, you're like, at some point I just gotta pick a lane and like keep going. But this one I'm having a hard time like not doing like the main quest. Like I'm holding off doing that because I like exploring, and like you can ride around on Roach and just all of a sudden like you could hear this lady like, help me, and like you ride your horse over there to be like, what can I do to help? I'm a Witcher. You got some coin? Let me help. And
toss
like things happen like
Witcher,
that.
You know?
Yeah.
Just do it.
And it's dated itself a little bit in some of the mechanics, but it's fun to play. Like the parry is fun. I can actually parry in this game. It does take a little bit of a timing, but I talked about this last week, but just the fact that you have to go in your monster glossary to figure out what kind of bombs or what kind of oil you got to put on your sword to fight this monster, like it's like Pokemon, like trying to figure out what their weaknesses are. And it's fun. It's fun. And yeah, I'm having a great time. I know I got to put it down and do other things at some point, like play other games. So I'm probably going to have to like start mainlining it a little bit because I want to get to the DLC.
I feel like I'm not the first person to say this. Probably not even the first person to say it today. But like, if there was ever a time to catch up on your backlog, it's right now. Like, there's been like 1 or 2 games so far this year that have come out that have been like, getting good reviews or like would interest like certain people. Like Dynasty Warriors Origins, I've heard is really good. But like, we haven't hit that like just constant deluge of new releases quite yet. And so if you're ever going to catch up on stuff, it's now, So
maybe I just take advantage and I will play one new thing next week. I did play one thing that I told Kayla I was going to play, but I'm not going to talk about that until she's on the show next week. So Jordan, you'll have to tune in. You might know what it is.
I almost never do, but I guess I'll make an exception.
Please. Thank you. Your busy schedule. I know it's difficult. But yeah, Witcher 3. What a great game. So good. It's 10 years old. I cannot wait for the next Witcher game now. Boy, wow, I can imagine this.
But you're playing as a girl.
People might be mad about that, but oh my God, that's like, I'm going to be selfish. I'm very thankful for that. They knew what Jerica would want. And it makes sense for this story. I guess we're to see what's happening, what's probably going to end up happening. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm so glad they're continuing and making another Witcher game. I just hope it doesn't take 800 years to come out because I'm so ready. Okay.
So ready.
But, we're talking about games that come out or hopefully coming out in a few years. Let's talk about some games that come out maybe 20, 30 years ago. We're going to date ourselves a little bit with some of this. And if Kayla's in the chat, you're not going to know what these games are, Kayla. I don't think you're going to know what any of these games are.
Straight up geriatric.
Basically, in the gaming space, yeah. But I will, I texted Jordan about this. I was like, hey, I have an idea. Do you want to do this episode? If you're doing this episode with me, this is what I want to do. But I was like, it might date us a little bit. But you know what? I'm thankful we grew up in the time we did. Because we were in the golden years of gaming, for real. Like, I just remember getting a PlayStation 2 for Christmas. And that was like, that moment is just stuck here forever. And like all the games I played on it were just so good. And just experiencing that as a dumb little kid was just amazing. So
can I tell you? This is a complete sidetrack. This is not on the docket. So my brother and I, he's 3 years older than me. We got a PlayStation 2 for Christmas one year.
Oh, nice.
Except the thing was, one morning after my parents had like gone to work, but we hadn't left for school yet, like either walking or the bus or whatever, he decides to start like looking around for any hidden presents. And we had a garage, and there was a refrigerator in the garage, and it was like one of those ones that there's like like benches, like kind of almost like a workstation kind of an area in the garage too. He just like climbs up onto like the countertop and looks up on top of the refrigerator, like behind these boxes that are always there, and finds our PS2. But it's like weeks before Christmas, and so like we had to just
oh my god
go for the Oscar on Christmas morning of like
oh, I would have been, I don't know, like I was just a really excited child, and I still get really excited about stupid stuff as an adult. Like, I don't think this little kid would have been like shaking in her boots knowing that there's a PS2 in the garage or whatever, wherever you said it was. Like, I would have been so tempted to open it and look at it, plug it up.
I can't. I know we didn't plug it up.
Back to where it was.
He may have opened it. I know we didn't plug it up though. But yeah, that was wild. Like, for some reason we cannot seem to find the my dad was always the one to like oh, hold on, let's get the camcorder up before Christmas morning. So like
hold on a second here.
We can't seem to find that video, but I wish I could, because I was just like, I was way trying to oversell it. I was overacting.
Oh, I wish I could have.
Yeah, I'm sad
it wasn't recorded now.
I know it was recorded. We just can't find it.
Damn. Okay. So yeah, you gotta look for that. It's gotta be on a tape somewhere, right?
Somewhere, yeah.
A floppy disk. I don't know.
Floppy disk.
So what me and Jordan are gonna do? We'll do it this way, Jordan. Like, I'll present a game, and you'll present a game. We'll sort of go back and forth. I have 5. How many do you have?
I think I jotted down like 6 or 7, but I can keep it at 5. Like, I can cut a couple.
I mean, we can throw in your extra 1 or 2. It doesn't matter. But these are all games that I just sort of like. I went through some lists because like there's a few that I will name that just are always stuck in my brain. Just like, that was really fun to me as a kid. And not that every one of these games hit that category, but it was also just like, that's such a strange game. And then it usually has a cult following though. Like it's wild. Some of these games, like, so even as a dumb little kid, like I was playing some bangers. Like I was playing some true banging games that maybe got a little underrated, a little underrated.
Like you said, golden age. We grew up in the golden
age. And like the creativity just spewing out of developers during this time. But
Game Over Trello says that he played his Super Nintendo for a week before Christmas and wrapped it back up each time.
Beautiful. Man.
My dad apparently, like, so my brother was going to get that for Christmas when I was still like probably 3 or 4, like can't quite remember it kind of age. But my dad like hooked up the Super Nintendo and was playing it before Christmas. And my brother knew enough to know like, hey, that looks like the plug-in for the Super Nintendo. And he was like, what are you talking about, son?
I don't know.
But yeah, I've got mine ready to shoot the links over to you whenever the time is right. So
let me get those tabs pulled up again. I have my special tabs.
Yes, my tabs.
My special tabs. Get these pulled up over here.
I think I need to just like look at the stream to see what like the B-roll that you're going to show.
Oh yeah, that's a.
It's fine.
Point.
It's totally fine.
Damn it! I forget about that. Yeah, it'll be fine. Let me swap over to the vid share. No, that's the arcane episode. That's not what we're doing. Where'd my other one go?
Arcane in the
Sorry,
membrane.
y'all. I'm really struggling. Okay. Let me see YouTube. There we go. My first game. I'm just going for sorry, Jordan. I'm just queuing it up.
No,
and then you send me your next one, okay?
Yeah. My first one's already in the chat, so you're good for my first one already.
Okay, great. I didn't resize stuff before we went live, so
no Jerica audio, she's saying.
Huh?
No audio for you right now.
What the heck? Oh, I know why. Hold on.
She's on it, chat. Thank you. The audio curse.
Yeah. I forgot to add the source to this scene too.
How is it now, chat? Can you hear?
Not yet. Beacon, add source. I should be back. Are you here? Can they hear you?
She's saying no. The Solo Jordan podcast.
They should be able to hear. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Now, yes.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
I forgot to add my source to this scene, and we're even like, let me fix this. I didn't do any of this part like I normally do before the show, so bear with me. For this game, I'm about to educate you on a game called Fin. It was for the computer. That's what I said as a child. Like, I want to play this computer game.
Yeah.
It was for the computer.
There was the computer and the Nintendo. Those are the only systems.
Nintendo. My Hewitt Packard.
Ooh, oh yeah.
Packard Bell. No, go even way back. Packard Bell. Not to be confused with Hewitt Packard.
I'll do one better. Gateway.
Yep, there we go. Ooh.
They look like cows. Why?
It was so cool though.
They were. We had one. It was awesome.
Cow box. All right. So this first game, it's a little ahead of its time. And I've talked about this before, but I haven't talked about it with you, I don't think. This game is called Fin. It was a virtual reality pet game that would use your microphone, which I know this day and age sounds very like easy, right? Sure, you can do this kind of stuff on your phone now. This was way ahead of its time. Listen,
it's the hot new pet. Wow.
Let me tell you. It was like a dolphin bird, like this if you go, I think this guy, I didn't listen to his video, but Lazy Gamer Reviews did an unboxing of this game. That's a video. There's not much footage of it, so I had to find this video
to prove to yourself that it was real and not a fever dream.
Exactly, because it really is one of those things. I'm like, did I really experience this? So, but it is what it is. It's like a virtual pet. Apparently, you could talk to it. My memory is vague with this, but I just remember it was like a dolphin bird. It was named Fin. It's a dolphin bird. Dolphin bird. What the heck? And you could say like, "Come here."
Dolphin bird.
You could feed it, train it, but it was using the microphone. And like, this is early 90s. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, unheard of. I don't know. Did you have any game like this on your computer?
No, I did not.
With a microphone? But it is like a Tamagotchi, whatever, little gigapets that we had. Like, this is it on the computer. I'm gonna be honest though. I don't know if it ever worked for me. Did it ever work for anyone? Who knows? You might have to watch this guy's video to find out, because I would say, "Come here, Fin," and it would never do anything.
I do know that, like, this is obviously a few years later, but I remember that Hey You Pikachu, like, notoriously did not work. It was supposed to be the same kind of thing, like a built-in mic kind of a situation, but like.
So I guess maybe this maybe was how we got Hey You Pikachu. You know, someone had to look back at the past. It was like, hey, do you remember that Fin game where you could pick your locations according to this video, and like it's got the weather conditions. So I guess Fin wouldn't come out like during certain types of weather events.
Oh.
You had to go looking for it too. This game was really boring. Like, if you play this now, it's probably the most boring ass game. But I just thought it was cool because you could talk to it and it didn't do anything. But man, little Jerica was just like, this is my best friend right now. You know?
Yes. I love
Ahead of its time. But this is the first game I picked. It's a thing I think about occasionally. And I'm just like, it probably didn't work for me, honestly, because I didn't do the microphone test. I just saw that there's a microphone test to maybe make sure Fin can hear you. Or Fin was just an asshole and didn't listen to me. So
equally possible, either one,
But that's my first game, Jordan. I know. Hopefully, I educated you.
You did. That
you didn't know about.
That was heartwarming, heartbreaking.
Fin. It's where it's at.
I keep cracking up because Fin was also that like weight loss drug that killed people back in like.
Oh shit! No way! I did not know that.
It was not spelled the same way, but like.
Well, there you have it, folks.
Fun fact.
Fun fact. All right, I'm getting your video queued up now.
Yeah, I had to do one, okay, because I know that no matter where I go, as far as like my own channel or podcasts, I'm always gonna somehow bring up Metroids and Metroidvanias. So I had to do one because Super Metroid is still one of the best games like of all time. Iconic opening there that's playing. The music is so creepy, sets a tone perfectly. But on top of that, it's still one that it's on like the Nintendo Online for the SNES. So like that's still one I go back to and play usually at least once or twice a year. Even now, 30 plus years later, it's just a banger. Just an all-time banger.
Well, maybe I should play it. I'd never played any Metroid game, like for real. Like I've never played them. I played whatever was on the GameCube, which I think was like the last big one that everyone was excited for, besides
Metroid
Dread.
Prime. Yeah.
Yes, I played a little bit of that, but it wasn't my cup of tea at the time. Mm-hmm. But you'll probably get. And when did that come out? GameCube was
Metroid Prime. I think was 2002.
Okay, so I was still almost like I was still a derpy kid and only played like certain types of games. I wasn't as cool of a gamer yet. You'll see from my games that I've picked this evening. So I should definitely come back to this at some point in my life.
Yeah. And plus there is the Metroid Prime remaster on the Switch that's like so good that you would have thought it was a remake. Like as far as how much better it looks, how much like it runs so smoothly.
Okay, I remember this now. I remember when this was getting some excitement from folks.
Yeah, and anyone listening in chat now or listening back later, especially Patrick, because I know he'll have words to say. Just be proud of how restrained I'm being right now, and how much I'm not just gushing about everything Metroid. So yeah.
Why does this game stand out to you so much?
Again,
like, what's the thing that pulls you back? Like, if you can pick one thing.
It really is just one of those games that's just that well done. Like, the atmosphere is so perfect, and, like, the gameplay is enjoyable, especially for someone who just, I grew up on it anyway, but it's one of the games that actually stands the test of time, because sometimes, obviously, like Fin, you play a game as a kid, it's like, this is the coolest thing ever, and then like you go back and you're like, wait, how did I even move to the next screen? Like, how did anyone do anything with this game? But like, they really, what do the kids say, that they cooked? They really cooked with Super Metroid back in the day, and like, and they've kept so much of the same, formula for other games, not only for the Metroid series, but also just other Metroidvania games like Prince of Persia Lost Crown. Like they, Super Metroid and the Castlevania games at the time walked so those games could run, kind of thing, in my opinion.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I should write poetry.
Well, if chat earlier, he was speaking in French. And he was reciting poetry, I think. That's what he told me. And it sounded beautiful, so it could have been. He also could have been calling me bad words. I don't know.
I was doing neither. I was badly trying to say that that I knew some French from studying it in college.
He said a lot of things, though, in French, so I don't know if I believe him.
Je parle un peu de français.
Oh, there he goes.
Wee wee.
All right. Are you ready for my next big game? Wee wee. It's not for the Wii though. Sorry, it's not for the Wii. That would have been a great transition.
That would have been. Do you have one for the Wii that you can just
I know it's not
segue
spelled
into
the same way because the Day and Good Show spelled it out, and I know. I just want people to know that I know it's not spelled that way. Wee. But maybe for a big chunk of my life, I thought it was, but not anymore because I'm sophisticated.
Wee escargot. Mm-hmm.
So my next game is another PlayStation. Well, Fin wasn't for PlayStation. I have a couple of PlayStation games. This was for the PS1.
Okay.
And of course, we're all familiar with Mario Kart. I had an N64, but it was a little bit after, like, first impression. What do you call, like, in Twilight when the wolf, what's that called? When the wolf sees somebody?
Imprints.
There you go. I imprinted. That's where I'm going. I imprinted on the PlayStation first, y'all. So primarily I'm playing on PlayStation and a Sega Genesis.
And then when it stopped being a baby, you groomed it and married it, I guess.
Yeah, which is so bad of me. But I did kiss a PS5 Pro last week, so
on camera for all to see.
Yeah. Or did I? You have to click on that video to find out.
You'll never know until you click.
So this next game, Mario Kart, we talked about that a second ago, but this is PlayStation's attempt at making a Mario Kart game. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Motor Tune Grand Prix.
Okay.
If you haven't, now you have. And you're definitely missing out. Like, phenomenal racing game.
So say the name of it again.
Motor Tune Grand Prix.
Motor Tune Grand. That sounds like so vaguely familiar. She do got deep cuts, High Score Weekly. She do got deep cuts. I'm cutting off the video is cut off a little bit, but I will say this. This is one of those theme songs. We all have themes or music that's stuck in our heads from our childhood just because it was so catchy. The theme song to this game is never going to leave my brain. Like, if I see the name of this game, I'm like, I don't know the words, but I know how it goes. It's so good. It's like a meta concert.
Listen.
That was mesmerizing.
This game is so much fun. I played the hell out of this game, and this is a little suggestive. She's in the shower. As you can tell, a little spicy. It's a spicy racing game, okay? But all the characters are super unique. They're all cartoonish, Motor Tune Grand Prix. And similar to like Mario Kart, like each character and vehicle sort of drive a different way. I feel like that's probably pretty common in racing games. Yeah. You got your heavier vehicles, lighter vehicles. This game's cool. There's even some aliens and they have a spaceship. That's fun. Like, it goes pretty deep. There's not just cars. There's a motorcycle and a spaceship. So very neat. The racetracks, also incredible. Like, there's almost like their version of Rainbow Road, and is it a clone of Mario Kart? A little bit, but it's got its own flair. And there's some of the characters you can see now.
Speaking of Rainbow, High Score Weekly says that this game was your awakening.
Yes, it was. There's a lot of signs, and if I'm looking back, I'm like, this makes sense. This game's really fun. You should watch the gameplay if you have an emulator, which I think that's illegal. Sure, play this on your PlayStation at home if you have it.
Yeah.
It's a good time. It might even be in the retro collection. Who knows? Probably not, because I don't know if some people know about this game.
Emulation itself is not technically illegal as long as you're dumping your own ROMs from games you own, which all of you are already doing for that.
Yep. That's what we're doing.
So,
Okay, I'm going to bring up something that's sort of strange that I used to do as a child. And I did this in Diddy Kong Racing too. I'm a weirdo, I promise. Like, I don't even have to promise I'm a weirdo. I promise I'm not a weirdo. That's what I want to say. But I also am a weirdo. But like in this game and like Diddy Kong Racing and probably some other games like that, when we got to open world games, my mind was blown. But I used to be so like, I was an only child. I had some friends. I wasn't too super lonely, but I had a really good imagination. And as a child, like with this game and others, I would make my own stories and ride around the map. Like I just remember like I'd get in this car and like I have to go pick up my friend and I wouldn't even race. I'd just be driving to environments. At some points, I even figure out how to get out of the map, like out of the racetrack. And like I went on this train track that was totally not even a part of the racetrack. Like I was breaking this game to tell stories. Okay.
That's beautiful.
Like, one of the characters need to pick up their kids from school and I was trying to help them get there. Like it's that kind of weird shit. And I did that a lot in Diddy Kong Racing, which is not going to be on this list, but it should have made it because that's where I learned to play, or I learned to fly an airplane. Did the same thing in that game. Used to come up with my own stories and just play in that story in the world. And then open world games came a thing. And I was just like, no one needs a story in a game. I can make my own.
Didn't have to imagine anything anymore.
Yeah.
It was just all there.
Anyways, Motor Tune Grand Prix, the nostalgic feels are just hitting me hard with this one. So
apparently Kayla and High Score Weekly both did that. So
okay, cool. I'm not alone. Me and High Score Weekly have talked about this. I think he's like the only person I've told because I could feel like he'd be in the same boat. But now I don't feel that. I didn't know Kayla's in the same place as me. All right, cool. Jordan, did you do that at all? Did you make your own stories up when you played games?
I mean, I can't like picture having done that, but it wouldn't surprise me if I did. What I do know that I did was like, again, have an older brother. And so like we'd be playing with our toys and he'd always just want to like, bash them together and like, someone's going to win, someone's going to die or whatever. And I'm like, let's just all be friends, let's just
I don't care friends. That it's we don't have to fight right now.
I don't care that it's Magneto and Gambit. Like just like they're friends now. Okay.
They're friends. Let's be nice. Come on.
Did I pick those characters for a reason? Because I was teeing up my next clip?
Oh,
we'll see. We'll see.
I'm plugging her in now.
Plugging
her in. Whoops, hit the wrong button. Plugging it in now.
I had to look up what the name of this game was because I was like, I know there was a game where there was like multiple characters you could pick. And Gambit has always been a favorite, so I was always playing as Gambit. But like, yeah, it's called X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. And again,
I thought you were going to say Mutant Apology for a second. That sounds dope. Okay,
we're sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry.
Our bad for the X gene. But yeah, like getting to like do these like rolling kicks as Gambit and like throw his cards and like beat the crap out of people with his bow staff. Like, come on. That was like, I doubt that I ever even like got past this warehouse, but like it was so much fun to do.
I can relate. Like a lot of these games, older games, they're so hard. Yeah. So hard.
But then like, so I was, I'm not going to send you the link. It's, I skipped over it in favor of Gambit because I always will. But there was also like a Home Alone game for Super Nintendo. Did you?
I saw that. Never played it though.
Yeah,
see some gameplay of that.
We did play that. Like, of course, it's like very strange. Like, why are you fighting rats in a basement? This was not the plot of the movie at all.
What?
But when I was searching for a clip of it on YouTube, like I was finding like full runs of it, and like you can play the entire game in like 40 minutes. But like all those games back then, or like a lot of them were just like so difficult on purpose that like you would never know that until you maybe practice too much as an adult to figure it out.
It's not fair. It's not fair. I just really wanted to see the end of the level, but hopefully the game would have like, cheat codes so I could just like get to the end.
Maybe.
Sometimes I would.
Yeah. Could be. Ooh, High Score Weekly says he still has this game cartridge. Nice.
Ooh.
I knew we were vibing. When he was on the other week, I knew we were vibing.
High Score Weekly has a pretty extensive collection. I still need to go anymore. Visit him. He has other collections too that I really want to look at. I want to see your collections.
Dan Goodshow coming in hot with a deep cut of brute force on Xbox. Seriously, like there was something recently where I guess one of the new seasons of Halo Infinite says like brute something.
Yeah.
But it's like referencing the brutes from Halo. And I was like, oh, they're going to have like skins from Brute Force because it was like from Bungie, I think, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I never played it, so I don't know.
Oh, sorry, that was addressed.
I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
It was like 4-player co-op, like I guess you could call it almost like hero shooter style, where like each like you would pick one of the characters and they had their own abilities and like their own like weapon set. One was like reptile-ish.
Well, now I want to see what this looks like.
Brute force? Yeah, might as well.
Maybe I've played it. It sounds sort of familiar, but maybe I don't know.
I feel like there was like a reptile looking dude and like a sniper chick. Like,
nope, never played this, but it does remind me of Halo.
He's saying, "Pull it up, Jerica, please."
I pulled it up
because I think it was from Bungie, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, this is Bungie DNA all over it. It has to be.
Except, oh yeah, that's right. It was third person. Yeah. I think Reptile Dude could go invisible. That was like one of his abilities.
Well, what do you know? Did you I would assume this is a Xbox One X. This is the first console game. OG Xbox, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this looks like something that I would have been tempted to play. And if it would have caught me in like when I was a little bit older, I probably would have got really into it.
Purely developed by Digital Anvil. Maybe I just thought it was Bungie because it came out like on the Xbox.
It looks a lot like Halo, like the UI.
Yeah.
The fact that the lizard guy can go invisible.
Mm-hmm.
This guy looks like he's seen some things. I might have to revisit this. See what it's about. Okay.
That boy needs therapy.
Well, are you ready for my next game? This is queuing up for some good content.
Drop it on me.
Let's see. I get a stream. Okay, we can get Fin out of here and Motor Tune Grand Prix. All right.
Every time you say Fin, it just cracks me.
Fin. Not the things that are killing the people that are trying to lose weight. I can't remember what you said. But
this is a long time ago. Like, this is like 90s that they like banned it because it was like proving fatal for people.
That might have been why that game didn't succeed. Got overshadowed by that.
Maybe.
Kids like, I need Fin. And parents are like, no. It's
Here,
killing
kid,
people.
Have some pills. Shut up, Johnny.
All right. The next game, of course, is a weird one. But I also had like a weird obsession with like flying in video games.
I know.
It wasn't
I know
a
about
thing
this
for
one.
a long time. So when there was a game where your character could fly, that was so fucking cool to me.
Yeah.
Back to Diddy Kong Racing, the fact that you could fly an airplane.
Yes.
Just
those
something
are so cool.
just unlocked, and I was just like, the best game ever because I can fly. But Mr. Mosquito, have you ever heard of this one?
I have actually heard of this one. I don't think I ever played it. Yeah.
But it was fun. I'm looking back at it, sort of strange that you could develop by, I think, like a PlayStation studio, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
Team Asobi?
It could have been. I was looking it up earlier. It's just, at first glance, you're like, this is not cool that this mosquito is just like, could sit on this lady. And there's a level where you're in a bathtub, or this lady's in a bathtub, and you see the top of a breast.
The awakening continues.
And you're a mosquito, so you have to fly and like land on there's like certain parts of their skin that you have to land on.
Yeah.
And not get them too agitated, or they will try to kill you and suck their blood. And I just remember the one in the bathtub was really close to the breast, and that was really strange. But cool, I guess. But just a great concept. Who would have thunk like, let's make a game about a mosquito? Well, they did it. And I think since then there's been more bug games. I think just last year, there's an indie game where you're a little ant fighting these other ants.
There's also Bug Snacks. A couple years ago. There's also Bug Snacks.
There you go, Bug Snacks. So, this paved the way for all bugs to be in video games. Quite sure. But yeah, I was looking, I got this pulled up. I just pulled it up from Wikipedia. Was developed by Zoom and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation 2.
There you go. We're in that era now.
But yeah, this was a good time. And I just like to fly around. it wasn't about the blood sucking for me or the breasts. Just putting that out there. It was just the fact that your character could fly around was really innovative to me. So
the freedom
fun.
of flight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard fun things about it, but yeah, I don't think I ever actually played it.
Well, it's weird. I'm glad you probably, not a lot of people I don't think have.
But no, yeah, that was one of the, like, when I saw Mr. Mosquito pop up, I was like, that was one of the things I did remember hearing about it was like, there's the bathtub level.
The bathtub level, yeah. Ladies, like, yeah, the top of her breast are just exposed in the tub. And that's where you have to go and get the blood. They definitely did that on purpose. Sickos.
Nah. No, they would never. Kayla was like, Bug Snacks mentioned. I got you, girl. I never actually played it, but I got you.
All right, let me get back to the chat with you because you sent me another video. Let me copy this link. Copy link.
So I guess this is from the same, not PS2. This one's a GameCube game.
Ooh, GameCube. There was some gold in those hills.
GameCube mentioned, Kayla. GameCube mentioned. And this is one that I'm like, I don't know, maybe...
Why do I have ads all of a sudden? I'm not in this.
Ads.
Hold on. There we go.
TurboTax, or no, that's not TurboTax. This says Toutbox. I can't read. Oh my gosh.
You played a lot of TurboTax on your GameCube. Cool, Jordan. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's going now.
Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, man.
Not to be confused with those sour gummies.
Which I didn't know were a thing until like last year.
What the heck? Those are the best ones too.
And so I can't remember who actually sent it to, probably just my cousin, but I was like, man, Kojima's out here putting games on everything.
Everything, even your gummies.
Nothing is safe from that man. But I actually did not have a PS1 growing up. I've already told the story about getting a PS2 for Christmas that one year, but I'd heard about Metal Gear Solid, and I played the demo and eventually got the game for Metal Gear Solid 2 for PS2 and really liked it. But they released Twin Snakes on GameCube, and like the glow up on this video right now, it is real. Like if compared to the PS1 graphics, and like when I was trying to find this video to link to you, I remember seeing people talking about it, but like a lot more unfavorably. But man, I loved it. It was like they'd incorporated a couple of the things from Metal Gear Solid 2, like being able to go into first person.
That's neat.
Yeah. I think it was like, stationary. Like I don't think you could like play the whole game in first person, but like when you could aim down the sights and not just, have your laser sight, from third person perspective. Which helps
so much.
Yes.
Like it's nice to have in a game that you're doing the shooty shoots.
Mm-hmm. And the espionage and whatnot. But oh man, I had such a blast with it. And it was like the cutscenes with like, did you ever play the first game, Metal Gear Solid?
So here's the deal. The first Metal Gear Solid game that I played was 3, so Snake Eater. Mm-hmm. That's when I was finally started getting to the point where I wasn't playing dumb games like Mr. Mosquito.
Fin.
Like Fin, some weird games. Like I was like, Snake, okay, like I want to play.
Go shoot the guy.
Something I feel like I played Max Payne, and that unlocked something for me. And I was like, God, I love a game with good story, dark tones, serious. And like after that, I went down a rabbit hole, just like really serious,
dark tones,
more mature games. So that's why I never got to some of the earlier Metal Gear Solid games. I think I was just a little too young to like find it fun. So when Snake Eater came out, that was the first one that I played. And that's what I imprinted on that experience as my Metal Gear experience. And I've, become a pretty big fan of Kojima, pretty big. Love Death Stranding. That's a fun time. And I just like his way of creating is just so strange, but it's like the best kind of strange. That's why I like him so much, because he's weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, Snake Eater was a phenomenal game. I tried to play the first Metal Gear Solid recently, and it's just really, really hard for me. Yeah. So I have a good friend, Cody. He's gonna actually like walk me through. That's why I have a mullet over here and a headband, because we're gonna be in character. I'm gonna be Liquid Snake, right? That's the snake in the first one. Mm-hmm. But Cody's played them all. So he's going to be the guy in the coat talking to Snake, which is me, and help me play it. Sorry, that was
Very
a long
nice.
explanation for a simple question. You asked me, have you played the first game?
You took us on a journey, and I appreciate that about you.
So that's coming soon.
But like, I don't know. I guess it's probably one of those weird rights things as far as why it's kind of locked to the GameCube. But like, I always wondered, especially, wasn't it just last year, maybe the year before, where they released the Metal Gear Solid Collection Part 1, where it was like the 3 games.
Yeah,
Just like,
that's what I ended up picking up. So
yeah, and it's just like the port, and it's just the port of a slightly updated version of the PlayStation 1, and I'm like, but the GameCube one looked so much better, like, because obviously it was like the next generation of consoles, and like I don't know, like it was. Again, it's probably some sort of weird rights thing with maybe they had to outsource the remastering to a different studio, and it was one of those kind of things. But yeah, to my knowledge, have never seen the Twin Snakes version of the game anywhere else except for on the GameCube.
Interesting. Good to know.
Yeah.
Man,
so
I really
if you have
hope
that disc and you can dump the ROM on your PC,
dump it.
Dog.
I hope we get to live in a world where at least so you've played a few, like out of all the Metal Gear Solid games, which one? I know we're getting the third one, Delta. We're getting that. Like, what would
Allegedly
be the next? I personally have wanted the first one to be remade, like, so I can experience that for the first time. But
that would be really cool. And
is there one that you would rather them remake next?
I don't think so, because actually my actual playthroughs of the games stops at 2.
Okay.
So I started Snake Eater. I think I borrowed it from a neighbor or something like that. And
I don't know. I feel like there's a song in there that's like that. It's like very
James Bond.
James Bond-esque. Yeah. I love that so much.
Yeah. It's like, what a thrill. Whatever. I got a couple hours into it, and there was something about it. I think it was just having to do the whole hunting your own food and changing your camouflage stuff. It was obviously very immersive, but it was new to the series, and just I wasn't interested in that. Wasn't having that, so I just never got far in it. But I've heard good things.
Snake Eater's fun. I like going all camouflage and get my little gator hat on. It's fun. I cannot wait to play Delta. It's gonna be Audrey's first Metal Gear game to play too. Cool. I can't wait for her to experience it.
And technically, isn't it I believe it's the first one chronologically, right?
Yes, it is.
At least of the ones with Solid in the title. Yeah.
Yeah. I do remember trying to watch a video of getting them all explained to me, so maybe I would understand what's happening. I've forgotten again, but I do remember that tidbit. I'm like, at least I played the one that tells the first part of the story.
I'm pretty sure Donkey has a Metal Gear Solid explained video, which is
awesome.
Yeah, it's hysterical. Anytime he tries to break down a series, it's always the best part is a lot of the times he actually is just telling me what the lore is, but it's just so ridiculous that you think he's making it up. That's a fun time.
I love his videos. That's how I like to start my breakfast or my morning, is eating breakfast and watching any of his new videos.
I go back and rewatch so many of them.
Just so we're not here all night, I'm gonna just say this one is my last one.
Okay.
And I've saved probably one of my favorite games. This needs to be on one of my favorite games of all time, just because of how many hours I put into it as a young Jerica. If any of the games I mentioned tonight, I think for all of them I've said innovation ahead of its time. This game truly is that, and I'm not just saying it to be silly. This game was ahead of its time, developed by what now is Rockstar North. Okay. Published by Take-Two. A lot of people don't know that. I didn't really know that until I became a gaming adult and I did some research. Mm-hmm. I am currently looking for a physical copy of this game to have on my shelf. That's why I love it so much. And this game, as a little game, is for the N64. And High Score Weekly is going to probably know what it is because I've talked about it with him a whole lot. Is Space Station Silicon Valley. Okay? Let me give you the premise for this game.
Please do.
I'm not kidding here. This game is phenomenal. one of the best games ever made for the N64. Okay. You, the main character in the game, and his companion is like a companion but he dies. He turns into like a computer chip, and y'all like crash land on this planet, and the computer chip is what you play as. Okay. And I'm gonna get into it in just a second. You wake up and you get out of the ship. Your computer chip has discovered that it can hop into these other little animals and take control of them.
Okay, that is innovative for sure. Like,
and I'll tell you this: the game's full of puzzles, and literally any critter that you find in this game can be taken control of by your computer chip friend. And every single animal is like also like a robot, so they have like special abilities. Like the sheep can like jump up and float, the dog can bite. I know it's pretty simple, but they get pretty advanced. Like there's like this little robot mouse that like zips around super fast, and you have to hop into the mouse so you can zip over the ramp to get inside, to get the crystals or whatever, the magical battery balls. I don't know what they are really doing, but there's dozens of levels. This is dozens of levels and so many animals that you can control, and like they're all unique, and it's so fun to explore this weird space planet and just trying to find the new animal that you can hop into and take control over. Phenomenal game. I put so many hours into this. Like maybe I can scoot around. So this is just like the first level, and it's just very basic, like tutorial level, getting used to the world. But I remember like the snow world. Here it is. It's like a little weasel thing that everybody's sliding around. Like if you could, like there's like these flying pelicans too. I never figure out how to get them. But they were flying, and they could also, I remember like watching some gameplay like later on in my life, and I saw someone take like control of the pelican, and I was like, holy shit, you could fly in this game, and I didn't get to do that as a child. I need to do that at some point soon.
Yeah, High School Weekly does remember this game. Some of the puzzles can break, and you can actually get stuck though.
Yes, the game's not perfect. You definitely can break it at times.
And then Dan Goodshow brings up a good point that Super Mario Odyssey stole this.
Yeah, they
Being
did.
able to just
You're not wrong. I never thought about that. They did. Not an original concept. This was done long ago. This game's like really ancient. I sort of went back in time with this last one. Golly, I love this game so much. Like I played this out of any game on the N64. I played this game the most. This and Diddy Kong Racing.
Diddy Kong Racing, like you said, was phenomenal. Like
we need to quit worrying about Mario Kart. Diddy Kong Racing needs to come back. That would be a Switch 2 launch title that would rile up the folks to buy a console. It's probably Mario Kart's way more popular, but
yeah, probably.
I feel like people would really get really excited about Diddy Kong Racing or Space Station Silicon Valley remake or a sequel. Come on, Rockstar, quit working on
GTA 12.
This is what people need in their life. Look, there's even a fish.
There's even a fish.
There's every critter. They're swimming, flying. Like that just doesn't happen in games at this time. If you jump into a lake, you just die in a lot of games. This game didn't penalize you for trying to jump in the lake.
That's what happens in Hyperlight Breaker. I was like, I'm going to get this thing that I need to fight the boss thing. And it's like, you can't swim. Why are you trying to do that for?
How dare you do that? I don't like when people are giving me limitations like that. Agreed. Anyways. All right. Did you send me your last one?
I did.
Okay. Copy. Link.
Yeah, I accidentally copied the text of the link first and then copied the link the second time. So I'm good at computer.
We good at computer?
Yeah. I do good with the clicky click and that typey type.
Clickety clack.
Clickety clack. So all
right. We're going to it.
This is the video that I sent you was just like when they announced it was coming to the Nintendo Switch Online.
Okay.
But the this isn't like a hidden gem because I feel like a lot of people have heard of it, but maybe a lot of people haven't. The Golden Sun games for Game Boy Advance.
Okay.
Were so incredible.
Never heard of them. Never heard of it. Sell me on it, Jordan. What is it?
Educate you.
Educate me.
Yes, so they're RPGs, like turn-based RPGs.
Okay.
And there's like the premise being that this like power of alchemy, like either can make or destroy the world, and it's like getting released, you need to stop it, kind of thing. But you're like traveling around, and so each of the characters kind of have their own affinity for like magic, which is that's pretty typical for games anyway. But there's things too that are more not elemental, like you'll be using powers to solve puzzles, so like you need to like use like the move power to like move the statue over to be able to jump across the gap, kind of a thing, or like using some of the elemental powers outside of battle, so like you need to freeze this puddle of water so that it turns into something you can jump onto, and then or melt a frozen thing to go through it. So there's a lot of like puzzle solving. The combat was really great, the music was awesome, story was cool. In addition to that, you would find these little, they were called like Jinn, like DJINN, all around, and they were elemental spirits, kind of a thing that you could assign to the characters, and like depending on how many you assign to each character and also their elemental affinity would like basically make summons, like increasingly powerful summons that you could bring into battle. So it was like a lot of really cool stuff, especially for like that day and age. And one of the things that I have never forgot, it's been so long, even when they came out on the Switch online, I was very excited to like jump back into it, but then I got not very far. But I have never forgotten since they came out when I was a tween, that like your spoilers for a very old game, like in like basically the prologue of the first game, you think that your friend's brother like dies in a flood, but then like half of the game you find out that he survived and that he's also kind of like working with the antagonists.
No.
Right? I know. But then like there's like some sort of confrontation at the end of the first game, but then when the second game picks up, you are playing as like that brother and like his like section of the party that kind of like broke off.
That's
not like
cool.
Yeah, not like the actual full-on antagonists of the first game, because you fight them for the final battle and they die or whatever. But yeah, like picking up the second game to start from like the not like evil, but like antagonist and the actual like definition of the word of just like working against the protagonist, kind of a thing. Like picking up a story with him and the other people that kind of sided with him as the first game came into a close was like really revolutionary to me. I was like, you get to like see both sides of the story, kind of a thing, like.
Well, it is. You don't. For its time, like you didn't get a lot of that. I would especially like. I feel like with RPGs, like a small scale like RPG. I feel like that definitely didn't happen as much. And I will say this too, like the graphics for this game, and I know it's probably for this version maybe looks a little bit better, but like I feel like it looks incredible for its time frame. Like it looks really good.
It looked good. It did.
Like the visuals are pretty dope.
There's a little Jamie
for like on the, you said the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
That's wild. That looks good.
Yeah, and I mean, I knew like what you meant by small scale RPG because of a Game Boy Advance game, but like I'm pretty sure the stories were still like a couple dozen hours. Like it wasn't like a knock it out in the afternoon, 40 minutes Home Alone SNES kind of a situation. It was like it was a pretty long, like pretty in-depth story, and like it did some really cool things. I mean, you may even say that this series of games really set the stage for The Last of Us Part 2,
How?
Like playing as the antagonist after a certain period of time.
Well, you're not wrong, actually. Okay, yeah, maybe, we'll have to call up Neil and ask him. Hey, did you get your idea from the Golden Sun? Okay.
What were you doing
not
in
that
2001,
original.
Neil?
It's been done before. Well, thank you so much for bringing some titles to us that maybe the world needed to hear about. I feel like your list was definitely a more a list that would be worthy of like an internet article,
But yours was a lot more educational.
No, it wasn't. That was just showing people, hey, wow, Jericho's a weird little kid. and played these weird games. But I will tell you, like, someone needed to play these weird games. So
they did.
But also explains why I didn't play a lot of great games when I was younger. Everybody's like, have you ever played that? I was like, nah, I was playing Mr. Mosquito. So.
Your YouTube's trying to get your fish dolphin to listen to you.
Yeah, Fin was just running away from me. So I'm just like screaming at the monitor all night. So
what a dick, you know?
Asshole. Nice. I forgot to do this on Instagram, but like I'll put up a poll and maybe read it for next week. But I was like, I like to hear from other folks. Like, what are some of those games from your younger days that maybe you played? And like I like to add the extra layer of like, is this a game that was really popular? Did like a lot of your friends play? It's always fun when like you play a game and you really haven't heard about it until you see it on one of those lists and you're like, oh my god, I remember that. No one talks about that game anymore. It's sort of fun to see those games pop up and be like, oh my god, I remember that.
I literally was like pulling up lists of like N64 and GameCube games. Like, there's got to be one in this list that like most people, you know, wouldn't have thought of to talk about, and that I played or whatever. Like,
you know, and any kind of flying game is probably where you had me. Like, I almost added Pilot Wings to this list because that was such a fun game. And I feel like it got like remade or something recently, or a new one came out.
That sounds vaguely familiar, actually.
But Pilot Wings for the N64 was also incredible. I love flying in games. Haven't played the new Flight Simulator yet. I really need to get to that. And I just almost forgot about it. I might download that and play a little bit tomorrow. Fly some planes.
Do it right now.
I love flying. Flying's cool.
It is cool.
All right, Jordan, before we wrap up this evening, I know how many we got. The 6 people now. It is actually 6. There were 7 and there was 8. Where could people find you in case you're writing a review for a new game soon? Listen, we want to know. We want to be able to chase you and hear your thoughts. So
I am. You can find me on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Threads at Cognitive Clips, and then YouTube, of course, with the same name for the channel. If you like to do the youtube.com/@cognitive-clips is where you'll find it. And there'll be something dropping. I think it's January 30th at around 1 p.m. Eastern.
Hell yeah!
I believe is when I'm allowed to share some more thoughts about a certain thing.
Hell yeah! Let's go.
Let's go.
Very excited. Again, some more just cool opportunities that you never know about until you send a random email from a developer's website, you know? So
that's all it is. That's all it takes sometimes.
Shoot your shot, folks. Shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot. Well, thank you, Jordan, for filling in for Kayla. I'm sure you'll do it again at some point in the future. Or if even fill in for me. You might have to.
Oh, no.
I might get sick. Or I might just like decide I want to go fly a plane, and it just takes a lot of time to do that. So you might have to do it a few weeks in a row. So I think it takes multiple weeks to get your pilot's license.
Around the world trip. Yeah.
It's on my list of things to do before I die, is really get my private license, so I can just at least fly me and Audrey places one day. Like, you can rent a plane, which is great. I don't think I could ever own one. That's expensive, but I would love to rent a plane and just go to like New Orleans or something. It'd be cool.
On a whim, just.
I played enough Flight Simulator. I wish those counted as true hours for lessons. Or Pilot Wings. Or
they should.
Space Station Silicon Valley if you get in the Pelican.
You should write a sternly worded letter.
A lot of Diddy Kong
arguing
racing.
Your case.
Okay. Let me fly. Let me fly. All right. Well, we will catch y'all next time.
Bye.
See you next time. Thank you for watching and listening and doing all the other things.
Chatting.